Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Commander David's defense we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. But before I jump into this, I did want to say thank you to RemanX and thank you to Winsome Wendy for Winsome Wendy pointed out that I was wrong. I was so very, very wrong. And if you want to point out that I'm wrong too, please find me in Discord and just be respectful. I like having these conversations. There was an issue with Fortifier on Strife, especially since the rework of that team. And I went over to RemanX and he took the time out of his stream to just go over Fortifier and see how it works. We're no longer recommending Fortifier on Strife. It actually does nothing. I won't grade people wrong since I was recommending that for a while now, but we're going to take that off there. So I apologize, guys. It no longer does anything useful, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Team number 1 is a Wave 1 Avengers. This is a older team. Let's get the microphone out of the way as usual. I like Healer on these two, Raider, Striker, Skirmisher. This is a perfectly built team. They are old and no reason to invest in them, but this is absolutely perfectly done. A for that team, good job. Moving on to team number 2, if I can get my keys to work, is a Sinister 6, no Doc Ock. This is the way I like to see it. Minimal investment, that's fine. You've got War Ready on Rhino, probably for using him when you're going against that Rhino Factor, something like that, using the Rhino Factor against the Doom Brotherhood matchups. Slight over investment here in Vulture, but you got the right ISO on him, so it's not actually a waste. You got Striker over here, that's good. Skirmisher also works. You want the double taps to clear positive effects. Skirmisher, Raider, this is another perfectly built team. I like it, good job, A for that. Team number 3 is Red Skull Hydra 1.0. We got Fortifier where it's needed, Skirmisher, Striker on that one, and you went with this guy over here because you're building him up for the Omega Red unlock. He's kind of got to be built up, so if you want to, you can throw him in here if you want to try and raise this number. He does give the invulnerability status to Red Skull. He just doesn't get revived if he dies, so user beware. If you want to use them, I guess. I mean, we got to build them, so might as well put them to use. That way you don't have to invest in a minion. Personally, I think the minions are more effective if you want to, build this defense and run with it. War Ready across the board. I think that's great. Good placement. I like Grenadier on this team. He synergizes with Zemo really well in case you ever want to swap Zemo in here for that spot. All in all, this is really good. I'm going to give you an A for that team. Also, somebody's been paying attention to my videos. Okay, Skirmisher, Raider, Skirmisher, Striker, Fortifier, another perfect fit, perfect placement, perfect ISOs, invested in the right places. That's an A for that team. All right, and here we got Shuri and the Mercs. I think I want to go with, there we go. Okay, Taskmaster is a Skirmisher, Striker on all the Mercs. Shuri as a healer. This is great. The only thing is that you're probably going to be susceptible to that X-Force team, although they're getting pulled apart and used in different ways, so maybe don't even worry about that. This is kind of an older team. It's a filler team, but this is done absolutely right. By the way, Shuri and Killmonger are catching me off guard. I don't know if they're catching you guys off guard, but they're doing damage. He's staying alive a lot better. So when you go into this Merc team now, you kind of got to prioritize Killmonger because he's crazy good after that rework. I do think that the Wakandans are a better defense right now than Shuri and Killmonger on the Mercs are, simply because that team's new and people don't know how to go into them and they can catch people off guard a lot better than this. But this is still very, very good. Got a little bit more life in it after the Wakandan rework. So good job. Another A for the team. Great placement. Team number 6 is the Marauders. Now here we have Fortifier on Strife. I'm not gonna dock David for putting Fortifier on Strife. It's just that we found out that the minor defense up is now overwritten by Emma's full defense up, so that's pointless. And that Strife, with the heals coming off of Sinister, he's going to put full barrier and refill his health every time, on spawn, on turn, everything. He's gonna max it out, so Fortifier does no use. Used to be, at one point, we were doing the math on it, and there was still 5% less barrier and that Fortifier would top him off and make it good, and that's why you would go to like a 1.4 Fortifier or something like that on Strife. But now RemanX is recommending Healer ISO, mostly because he will get to heal usually, and there will be that one health revitalization, rejuvenation, whatever you want to call it, above his head, and that's one more positive buff to go through. That one might get removed instead of the taunt. So that's kind of really it. Otherwise, he's like full healing every turn, all by himself with all the stuff that's going on his full team, especially with Madeline Pryor. So on his team, with the proper investment, you don't need Fortifier. You can go with anything you want. Healer's good. I like Skirmisher also, especially if you're running a big Madeline Pryor, because it's one more vulnerable on the field. Striker is a waste. Striker's just a waste. He has a terrible counter assist thing to come back into. He's not here for damage. One of his moves doesn't even attack, so maybe you could do Raider because he has a single target attack and a AoE, an adjacent AoE on one, but then one attack he's not doing anything. So I don't like Striker or Raider. I do like Skirmisher for the vulnerable. I like Healer for the positive buff above his head. So that's what we should be doing now. Again, thank you RemanX for testing that for us and making sure it works. Let's see, we got Healer, Raider, Skirmisher, Healer over here, Fortifier over there. Okay, so A for the team. I would like to see this changed from Fortifier to something that has some value, but really, Strife doesn't have anything that he synergizes well, so it's kind of your pick. Gonna give an A for that though. Team number 7 is the Inhumans, with Coulson and Medic. Medic is a little bit too weak to hang with this team, so let's swap out Medic with somebody else. Maybe a Surfer goes well on this team, especially if you're in like defense down. You got these people that pop off real early, and then Black Bolt clearing the field and stuff like that. You could, especially if you're adjacent to security, you could throw in Kestrel right here, and then she's going to be procced by all those defense downs. It's a great little maneuver to make, but I think Medic's too small on this team. Healer on Medic is right though. Skirmisher over here, she's a candidate for this new Scourge setup that we're going for. Don't invest in your Scourge teams until we know what's going on with Scourge. Like seriously, like just hoard until like 5 days into Scourge. Coulson probably could be war ready. He's worth it. And then we've got Crystal and Black Bolt. We've got 1, 2 people putting out vulnerables, 2 people soaking them up. That's okay. I like it. I think you're just going Striker so you can activate his double tap and rewind turn meter, and that's probably all he's there for. So if that's all you want to do, that's fine. You're not wasting anything. Everything's in the right place. I'd just like to see you swap in a more powerful character than Medic. She's gonna die before she gets the opportunity to revive Coulson, even though Coulson is pretty weak also. So I mean, I guess you could beef her up some if you wanted to, but I think that's a waste. I think just throw in Surfer or Kestrel or something on this team, depending on where you're located at in your helicarrier. So I'm gonna go with a B+ for that team. Pretty darn good. Team number 8 is let's see, this is I want to say it's A Force. I want to say it's Young Avengers. It's a hero brawler team for right now. We're taking Captain Marvel off of defense right now for the event, using her. In fact, David sent me some new picks, putting her back on because he had taken her off to do his war attacks and get those points for the events, which are so complicated, convoluted, and blitz heavy these days. It's just ridiculous. Okay, let's get Squirrel Girl out of the corner. Let's get Miss Marvel out of the corner, just in case a Darkhold team comes in here. I do think that Darkhold should be going after Heroes for Hire, and that we should be using Weapon X on Young Avengers is probably a better way to go about it. But it really depends on where you're at in war. But I do like taking those 2 out of the corners. I like Chavez, at mid-range, I like Chavez being taken off the YA and put into other defenses to make like a Speed Eternals defense or something like that. I think you can get more value by spreading out your defense rather than building up on it. But of course, if you want to build the YA team for Scourge, then probably start running the 5-piece as you build the whole team up, because at higher levels, the 5-piece team is very, very powerful. Okay, so this is just a hero brawler team. It's nothing to get excited about. I do think that we can do better with more of a Young Avengers team. And I think the one that you should be replacing on the Young Avengers team is America Chavez is all. But for right now, this is pretty good. I know we're using I know we're using different people in offense. It's kind of a wonky thing. You know, we're seeing Darkhold on offense right now instead of defense, even though they get lots of DVs and make things very tough. Let's see. Skirmisher, Raider. She needs to be a striker to function on the on the hero brawler team. Everybody else is a striker. I like it. This is going to carry over well to the Young Avengers. I do think she should be a striker on her team and a healer on other teams. She's one of the best healers in the game, but the way that healer ISO works, it's not very powerful. It's not very necessary. So on her team, make her a striker so you getting those double, triple tap combos off of Miss Marvel. Okay. Yeah, I just don't like that one ISO, but honestly, depending on these teams that are coming out, don't touch this one because that might be where it's at. I mean, you could switch her to a level 1 striker for this team in the meantime, but don't build anything else because Psylocke might be a Raider. She might be something completely different. We just don't know. We don't know where she's going to go or if she's even going to get touched up. She could go on that Crucible team that's coming out. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that are up in the air, a lot of things we just don't know about with this patch. Okay, I'm going to give this team a B+. It's pretty good. I don't like that one ISO, and I think we could be using better people. Team number 9 is a Doc Ock hybrid team. Putting that Scientist Supreme to good use over here. Let's see. So Scientist Supreme is going to throw negative effects out, and they might get cleansed by Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman has some synergy with Doom. We've got her reviving people. Doc Ock throwing out deflects, keeping people alive. I think she's just here for that early cleanse off of her, and then she's here to cleanse Doc Ock of ability blocks also. So you've got 2 cleanses going on, keeping Doc Ock doing what he's supposed to be doing. She's reviving, and he's throwing out deflects to help people stay alive and heal people. I think this is a great way to use plug-and-play characters. This has some value and function. It could catch people off guard. It's nothing to get excited about, but it's a very solid use of your characters. You got Raider on Doom, so he can do some crit damage. Personally, I'm kind of liking him better as a striker, but it can go either way. It's more of a preference than what's going to be working best. On here, you have Skirmisher and Raider, so you're going to get a few vulnerables on the field, and there's no striker soaking him up, so you could make him a striker, but honestly, it'd be 1-to-1. Who knows if that's even going to line up. I think you're probably better off on this team as a Raider. I like it. I can give you an A for that team. It's really good. Yeah, gosh, I kind of want to give you an A+ because there's really, I don't see any faults here. I mean, it's totally beatable, but it's also really good use of some much unused tunes. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you an A+. I tucked myself into it. I've been negative all day. I'm trying to be positive. Okay, and team number 10 is the H for H. We got the funky power level, and that's fine. We got Skirmisher and Fortifier on these two. I like that. Striker Skirmisher over here and Raider on Shang-Chi. Great placement, great ISOs, great investment. A for this team. Good job. Somebody, unlike my Alliance members, are watching my videos and put out great ISOs and placement, and really good job. So this is fantastic. Great score over here. Probably one of the more higher scoring defenses we've seen. So really good job, David. I think you're doing a fantastic work here with your defense. If you want your defense featured, contact me on Discord. Links in the description. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily content, and I will catch you guys next time. Remember, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too. Bye.